So intersection and union. And look at those two symbols we have there. That's what it is. U looks like U for union. That's the one that makes sense, okay? This is upside down. It doesn't start with an N. Looks like an N without the straight part, okay? That means intersection. So yesterday we had these words. I didn't write it like this. I wrote it with other kind of words that kind of made sense. And I said to you, if you look up yesterday's example, okay, I said, how can we come to the conclusion of that overlapping part? That's called the intersection. Okay? Union kind of means or. It means everything in all those sets. Okay, intersection, that's the and part. That's the overlap set in the middle. Okay? So, example. 44 students were surveyed. And 28 have eaten a hamburger. How often do you guys eat hamburgers? As often as possible? I like them, yes. In the last 2 weeks? Yeah, that might be typical. I don't know. It's pretty popular food in this part of the world. Because they're good. Because that's what fast food restaurants normally have, and a lot of people eat a lot of fast food. Because it's fast.
Not as much as America.
And 12, that's right, have eaten a hot dog. I mean, but who goes to like McDonald's and gets a salad? Like, really?
My mother.
Okay, well, I stand corrected to those rabbits in the crowd.
Wendy's has the best salad. So good.
Yeah, they are.
Lots of people go and eat salads.
Okay, good for you. 14 students did not. That might apply, but that's not part of our universal set. 14 students did not eat either, yes. Maybe, maybe not. Is that a vegetarian? Or is it cooked in animal fat?
Why would it be animal fat?
Do you know what it is? For sure?
No, but
There you go. Might be a good question next time you go.
Yeah, exactly. You know what a hot dog is.
You don't know what you don't want to know. You don't want to know. Okay. I'm going to call hamburgers H, and because I got two fast food things here that start with an H, that I'm going to call D for dog, okay? You can choose your own letters if you want, Tristan. Determine, now what does this say? H union D. It doesn't say HUD, okay? H union D. H, think of it as or, okay? But what does that mean now? This is our kind of new language. That's the number of hamburgers, well, to write their language, union dogs, okay? But what makes more sense to us? At least, because that's wordage we got yesterday, hamburger or a hot dog. Okay? Or, either. That's just an arrow, yeah. That's what it means in English, okay? When you look at these symbols. So you got to get familiar with this stuff. Okay? When it says N bracket H U D, you got to know what that means. That means a hamburger or a hot dog, okay? That's double counting that intersection group. Remember those numbers I said? They don't add up. because we didn't subtract the ones that maybe you had a hamburger and a hot dog. Okay? So that includes that group. Determine the number of H union D. Okay, and that's a funny arrow. That means, what's this in English? Sorry, intersection. Thank you. Thank you. I'm getting old, guys. I'm getting old. Number of hamburgers and dogs, right? Okay, so that's the intersection. Yeah, ham and dogs. Now it's starting to sound like sandwiches. Okay, determine, we got more. H backslash D. Bracket. What the heck is that? Yeah, we're kind of familiar with what we did yesterday. That was a little introduction without telling you the full lingo. So in the old days, and Math 12 pre-calculus, I mean, you'd be getting all these 2 days in 1 day. That would be it. Is that what you're laughing at?
And then Shelly spit. So it was funny.
All right, okay. Guess you had to be there. Okay, that's the number of hamburgers minus dogs. Okay? Good question. I don't know. Like I say, I'm not the person who kind of came up with this stuff and put it in a textbook and said, this is how we're going to denote this stuff, okay? I'm not the guy. You kind of make sense. Intersection, why didn't they use an I here? I don't know. Okay, I can't answer that question. That's just the symbols we got to live with. Okay? So that's hamburgers. Guys, how else do I word this? Hamburgers minus dogs. I could say, I think you already said it. Hamburgers only, right? Just hamburgers. There's another way, okay? So that means no dogs. They just had hamburgers. Hamburgers only.
So the other way is going to be this side. The other way.
You're thinking ahead. Well done.
Well, sometimes,
The number of dogs minus hamburgers. That means just hot dogs. Because there's some kids who just had a hot dog and not a hamburger. Okay? So that is, number of dogs. Well, I'll write it in the same way. I could put dogs only, but dogs minus hamburgers. Okay? And that's it. Hey, well, how would we do this question yesterday? All right, so let's do that. Venn diagram. I'm recording this, so can tone it down, please. All right, 44 students. That goes here. That's our total universal set. That's all the elements. Okay, what else do I know? 28 eat a hamburger, okay, but I don't know how many had a hamburger and a hot dog. 12 ate a hot dog, but I don't know how many of those also had a hamburger. But I do know 14 students did not eat either. So let's put those there. That's not in our little circles here that have hamburgers and dogs. Okay, so how do I figure out what here again? Okay, well, so Tristan's saying I take 44, I subtract 14. That could give me what? If I go all the people and I subtract the ones who didn't have either, geez, what is wrong with me? They didn't take either. They get 30. That's 30 kids that ate either a hamburger or a hot dog or maybe both. But I do know what? I know 28 ate a hamburger or both. So this section H, including, was 28. Okay, maybe we don't want to write that there, but this whole circle is 28. Okay, that means what? Outside of that circle, this has got to be 2, right? That's the ones that just had a dog. They did not eat a hamburger. Okay? Also, out of that 30 kids, I do know that some of them ate a hot dog. 12 of them ate a hot dog. For D, 12 of them are here. All right? That means how many just had a hamburger? 18 kids. Now there's a couple ways to figure out the rest, right? I gave you kind of a formula to kind of figure it out, or you can just add all this up and see what's missing. There's 20, 34. How am I going to get to 44? How many must have had both? Yeah, 10. Okay? Or, well, 18 just ate a hamburger, but 28 people ate hamburgers. That means 10 must have had a hamburger and a hot dog. That's got to add up to 28. 10 and 2 has got to add up to 12, right? Okay, so there's a couple ways to kind of piece it together. But like I said yesterday, when you're done, make sure it all adds up. Okay? All these numbers have to add up to my total universal elements here. 44 kids, right? Double check it. 28, 30, 44, bingo. Okay? Works. Okay? So, this that I wrote yesterday, and I said what it was, but we didn't write it. Now we're going to. The principle of inclusion and exclusion, because we need to not double count this group that had both. Okay? That's why sometimes when you're looking at it, it's not really adding up. You can't double count these people who had both. So that means you got to exclude these, but we want to, well, if it makes sense, the title of this formula, great. Okay? The number who had hot dogs, hamburgers and or hot dogs is how many? It's 28 and 12, right? There's 30 people. That's equal to the number who just had hamburgers. How many is that? 18. And the number who just had hot dogs, that's 2, okay? Plus the number who had both. That's U for union. This is intersection, so it goes the other way and looks like an N, okay? Which is, how many had both? 10. Okay, so that works not just for hot dogs and hamburgers, okay? In general, they use A and B instead of H and D, but why rewrite it with A's and B's, okay? It says the same thing. The only difference, if you're really, really picky and really paying attention here, yesterday it was actually this in front, okay? And this thing was back over here. And you know what? I screwed that up. Because that's not the number that ate hot dogs. I'm putting my two formulas together in my head. Okay? The number that ate hot dogs was actually 28. Okay? This is the other formula. So let's fix this. Sorry. The number that ate dogs was 12. Okay? And we actually subtract this one. Okay? Because that's 20, 30, 40. I got a minus 10. Okay, sorry about that. The next formula, which I kind of did half of this one and half of that one, will say H union D can also be written as, okay, just had hot dogs. That's 18. So how do we write that? That's, sorry, hamburgers, not dogs. Okay? So 30 kids